Hi everyone, so today's video is going to be a very requested video, and it's a question I get on every single one of my DIY videos and on a lot of other videos as well, and it's about the materials I use and I recommend using to make your own DIY small pet toys. So I'm going to be talking about the wood I use and other bits and bobs and where you can get some of the bits and bobs from. I'm also going to be talking about things like sizzle rope and also the paint that I use and the glue that I use. If you haven't seen any of my DIY toys, then I'd recommend checking out a recent video I did that included a lot of my recent DIY toys. I'll link that on the screen now if you want to click on it, or it will also be in the description box if you want to click on it there, and I'll also try and link it at the end of the video for those of you who want to watch it after watching this video. I also have an in-detailed video on the paints that I use, and I talk about what the paint is and I show all the colours of the paints because some people wanted to know what colours I'd used for certain DIYs. So I do talk all about that in another one of my videos, which I will link on the screen now also, and again it will also be at the end of the video and in the description box if you want to check that out too. Okay, so before you make your DIY, you're obviously going to need some material, and obviously with small pets you're going to be using wood or some form of natural material for them to chew, because that's the purpose of a DIY toy really, and that's the main reason for toys in a small animal cage. So here's the main source of wood that I use, but I do use a variety which I'm going to show you and talk about in a second. I'm also going to talk about woods that you can purchase, so things that you can purchase in craft stores, pet stores and things like that. So I'll talk about those in a second, but first of all I'll tell you what woods are safe. So the most common that you probably see in pet shops is fruit woods. Now these are things like willow twigs, things that they can chew and are safe and come from, if you think of the type of fruits and treats like that are safe for guinea pigs, the trees that they come from are the types of woods that can be safe for them. So like a willow tree for example. So things like apple trees, pear trees, hazelnut trees, things like that, the woods are always safe for those. So if you have any growing in your garden, you can disinfect them safely and use those, or you can purchase them from shops if you want to. Now the type of wood I use we refer to as lumber, and this wood is, we call it white wood. I'm not sure if there's different names on it, but I've always known it as white wood, and it needs to be untreated. That is the really important thing. You need to have untreated, safe, natural wood. Now this is white wood, and I use a variety of different woods. Like I say, I go to the hardware store with someone I know who knows about all of that type of things, so we'll go and find the natural untreated white wood and choose them, and we get them in bulk so that it ends up being a lot cheaper. So I would recommend going with someone you know, but if you just ask for a bit of guidance when you're in the shop and say that you want white wood that's safe and natural, and maybe even tell them that you're looking at getting wood to build some small animal toys, then they will definitely 100% help you. So lumber is the most common type of wood that you're going to find is used when making DIY toys, and it's the wood that is used with all the houses and things in shops and things like that. So things like kill and dried white pine, which actually I think these ones here are, I'm not 100% on that, I need someone here to tell me, but I'm pretty sure that they are. But yeah, things like that, and they're completely fine and great to make toys with. Then I've already mentioned willow trees and willow twigs and things like that, and then you have vines, so grapevines, peeled grapevines, blackberry and raspberry vines, rose vines, things like that are really safe and natural. And if you've got a good garden, then you might have some growing in your garden, but just remember to disinfect them, and remember when buying wood it needs to be untreated. And this is what it looks like up close. So this is what you commonly see in my DIY videos, and we cut all of our shapes ourselves. I get a little bit of help with the big machines, but these ones, most of them I just use a saw and a drill or a circular drill bit when making circle shapes like this one here. Really simple, easy to make and quick to make. So the little shapes I use smaller tools, and then the larger shapes like this one here are done with machines. So luckily I have someone that has machines that I can use, but to be honest, all you need is a drill and a saw and know how to use them, and once you get the hang of it, it gets really easy to do and to make lots of different shapes with. Now, if you're a beginner, I would recommend starting off with purchasing wood from craft stores that are already shaped and pretty much just need painting and drilling holes in, and starting off with easier things like that. It is pretty difficult getting the hang of cutting shapes into wood, so unless you've already got the experience, I would recommend just buying the shapes ready and then going on to making the shapes further on once you've got a bit more experience, because it is difficult. I've kind of grown up with using machines and using saws and drills and things, so it's easier, but if you've got someone that can help you and show you how to do it, you will get the hang of it really quickly, and it works out a lot cheaper to just make your own and shape your own pieces of wood and buy it in bulk. But definitely for beginners, I just recommend getting some purchased items. So first of all, let's start with pet safe items. So you can buy things like this really cheaply. I think this was about 70p from Wilkinson's, 29 goodies. So definitely starting off with natural woods that you can find in pet shops is a great way to start. So you could get things like this, circle ones, they do lots of different shapes. There's rectangular ones, the woodlands do a lot. You can get the ones that are already painted and just repaint them different colours. Things like this are a great way to start, and you know, you can get toys like this and just take the hanging hooks out of them and make things with them. As you can see, these are the type of woods that have come from trees, and you know, very natural woods like that. So this is what I was talking about previously when I was talking about woods like that. But I would definitely recommend looking in your pet shops or Wilkinson's or supermarkets for things like this to start off with. Then you go on to your craft stores. Now you just pretty much need to search. Once you know what type of wood you're looking for, it's really easy to find. I can look at a wood and know whether it's safe or not. So once you're in a craft shop, and they would help you too if you ask them, you can pick up what you need and what you know is safe, but always ask the person at the craft store what type of wood it is. Now you can get things like this, they're really great for making shape. I like to stick these onto my lollipops to make them look a bit nicer, and I make toss around toys and things with them. You can get lots of things. These are super cute little walnuts. A lot of these things are sold on eBay as well and Amazon, so you can get them really easily. Dowels and things work great for toys. A lot of toy online shops actually sell these, make toys with them and sell them, so there's lots of things there. And once you've got a pack of them, they last you for ages because you can make so much with them. You can also get bigger shapes like these. You've probably seen lollipops made with these online and things, so really easy to use because they're already made into shapes for you. So you just need to think of an idea, choose what you need and paint them. So for beginners, that is 100% what I'd recommend doing. Start off with your pet shops looking for things like this, then go into your craft shops and familiarise yourself with the types of wood that you're going to use and which ones you know are safe, so that you can go into the craft shop and pick up things without having to ask all the time. And then I would go on to cutting your own shapes and things, and moving forward, because it does take a bit of experience to use machines and things like that. So if you're making a hanging toy, then you need something to hang the toy together with. There are two materials that I would recommend using. That is sisal rope, that looks like this, and raffia. You can get lots of different things, but these are my two favourites. You can get both of these from anywhere. You can get them from craft shops, you can get them from garden centres, you can get them from B&Q and places like that, because they're gardening items really, but they're safe for pets to chew. You can make so much with them. You don't have to just hang toys with them, you can actually make them into a toy themselves, and they're great. The pets love to chew, especially raffia, they love it, and these aren't expensive at all. I've had this for about 4 or 5 years and it's still here, and I've used it so much, but it used to be a lot thicker, but it's going to last me for a long time again. And it was about £1 or something like that, and this was only £1.99. So when you're making hanging toys, then I'd recommend either of these. Okay, so now we need to speak about paints, because that's where you're probably going to be going next. Once you've got your wooden pieces sorted and your materials, you're going to want to start painting your items. So my absolute favourite, and I've done videos on both of these all in one video, so you might want to check that out and know more about them, but I'll just go over them quickly. My favourite thing to use is soy paint. It's a natural paint made of vegetable stuff and really great paint. It lasts, it looks nice and vibrant, and I really like it. It's inexpensive as well. I get all of my soy paints off Amazon. I get like a couple every now and then. I don't really need any more now because I've got pretty much all of the colours I need, but when I buy them, I just buy a couple at a time, and they're quite inexpensive. But it's just by Delta, and it's just soy paint. And actually, since making my video on Pet Safe paint, I've seen a lot of people buying them now and saying that they'd watched the video and that they have bought the paint and really enjoyed using it. So it's great. I really recommend this, and I've got lots of different colours of soy paint and I use it all the time. That's probably what you see me use most. The next thing I would recommend using, if you can't afford soy paint or can't get it, or just fancy a different type of paint, because I like using this too because it gives it a kind of nice faded effect. Also encourages the pets to chew the toys because it's got a bit of a flavour. This is just natural food colouring. Now, when I first started making DIY, well, I've been making DIYs for a long time, but I never used to paint them. It's only recently, the last year or so, that I've been painting them, and I couldn't get hold of soy paint and I really wanted something to use. So I thought about it and searched everywhere, and I figured out that I could use natural food colouring because as long as it's natural, it's fine. I do like to water it down just in case. It just makes it a bit more safer. I like to not water it down, then use it. I either soak the items in the food colouring, or I just paint it on straight after I've watered it down. So you can get them in lots of different colours. They're really affordable and cheap. And this is another thing, since talking about this and using it, I've seen lots of other pet people use it, because at the time nobody had thought to use natural food colouring that I know of in the pet community on YouTube anyway. So I started using it, and it's really good to see that people are kind of following suit and using it too. It works really great. I love it. And if you can't get hold of this, also you could just use fruit and rub them onto the toys, or you could liquidize them if you have a blender to do that and use that. So there's lots of different ways to paint toys really safely, easily and cheaply. So the last thing that I get a lot of questions on is my Pet Safe glue. Now this is the glue I use. This isn't the glue, this is just a pot that I've had for years. I think it's a glue pot, I'm not sure. Oh, it says glue on it. But I've had this for years and I just use it to keep the glue in. It's not the same glue that's in it. So Pet Safe glue, you can do a couple of things. You can first of all use flour and water to make a glue, and I do that quite often. It's really easy and simple to make, especially with the more edible toys like the cardboard tubes and things. If you're wanting to stick things together, that's great. I love it. With wood, I would recommend mixing up your own Pet Safe glue. Now the flour works great actually, but this just tends to last a bit longer. Now for Pet Safe glue, you need to find non-toxic children's glue, so like the PVA stuff, but it has to be child safe and it has to be non-toxic. That way you know it's safe. So once you've got that, you then need to mix it. I pretty much mix it half and half water and half glue, and if it feels like it's still a bit thick, I put a tad bit more of water in. Yeah, most of it's water and there's less glue, if that makes sense, but only a tiny bit. It's mostly probably about half and half. So child safe, non-toxic glue, mix it half and half with water and glue, and then stick it in a tub like this, and it's ready to use whenever really, and it sticks toys for a lifetime. None of my toys have come undone since using it. When using the glue though, I do try and cover up where the glue is. So for example, if I was using it to stick a wooden piece in this centre, I would put the glue on the end of the wooden piece and straight down the middle. I'd make this a bit bigger, and straight down the middle of here, so that it was wasn't on the outside of the toy at all and that the pets can't reach it. Just as a precaution, it just makes it a bit safer again. You want to be as safe as possible when making toys, so I always try and make it unreachable and untouchable. So that's what I do. And if it does ever go on the side of the wooden toy, I tend to sandpaper the toy so that the wood around, the glue around it has gone, and then I repaint it so that there's no glue at all on the outside of the toy. So as well as the things that I've already mentioned, you can use other bits and bobs. You can use things like paper plates and cardboard tubes. You can use materials like this and paper bags. They're all great to make DIY toys with, and especially with forage and things like that, you can use things to fill treats with, and they're really fun to make. The pets tend to enjoy the DIY toys better than bought toys, to be honest, because I can make them to suit them and I know what they enjoy and will play with. So there are lots of materials to use. With buying them from craft stores and online and things, eventually you'll just be able to walk into a craft store and you'll walk in and see the types of wood and you'll think, that's great for guinea pigs, I can use that. And it does take a bit of time and experience to know which ones are safe automatically. I just do it automatically, which is bad, because I'll walk into shops, see a load of stuff, know it's safe and buy it all, which is really bad, but you will get the hang of it. So hopefully this has helped some of you out, because I know I got a lot of questions on what things I use to make my DIY toys. So I've spoken about the materials, the wood I use, bought wood, things like sisal rope, glue and paint. So hopefully I've covered everything, but if you have got more questions, don't forget to comment them down below. I've had a few comments recently also about opening a shop, and I really want to. I would really like to. I think I'd like to do a shop with customer orders, but I think at the beginning I'd just make a bulk of things and see how they sell. And I'm hoping to try out, I'm not opening a shop officially, but I would like to try one out over the summer, possibly. It's not 100% yet, but I'd possibly like to open one up in the summer, and we'll see how it goes. I might even do custom orders, we'll see how it goes, because a few people have asked me. I suppose it's hard for everybody to get the materials and machines and things like that, so it's easier for me to make them and sell them. But if you're wondering about that and want to ask about a shop, hopefully it's not 100%, but I would like to do one, and if I do open one up in the summer, then there will be an announcement on all of my social media sites and also on YouTube. So I hope this has helped you out. Remember to give it a like and a comment down below. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye everyone.